welcome, guys, to the game of two halves with yours truly. And, of course, Callum is also here. It's Rod and Callum for this one. So,
Of
would you like to say
course.
hello, Callum?
Of course.
There we
Hello.
go. Callum is here. In this, start of this series that we're going to be doing, we're going to be recapping, summing up, and wrapping up. Yes, that is our intro. The Premier League matches of the week. And this specifically will be match week 24, where we had a couple of belters and top four title race being very unpredictable, we shall say. Now, let's get straight into the match day reactions. This will be split up into two. We'll go through the memes in the second half. But match day reactions, starting off with Newcastle versus Everton. A great game, to be fair. Newcastle finally winning in a position where they actually need to win. They're at 17th, and they had to beat Everton here. And they did 3-1. Great performance from Maximin. Magical once again. We had Trippier scoring an absolute worldie of a free kick. And Lascelles scoring an own goal, but also a goal. Would you like to say anything, Callum?
That free kick.
Yeah, that free kick.
It was insane, but it's also it's pretty scary. Newcastle are looking pretty scary now. And from a Leeds fan, I'm panicking now. We're gonna get relegated. But
yeah, I think the Premier League fan doesn't want Newcastle to do well.
No, I don't. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Newcastle with their new owners, if they do stay in the Premier League, next season will be a good time for them. But yeah, Everton. Well, we have to talk about Everton. They have made a couple great signings in January, Dele Alli and Van de Beek. Yet they start off match day 24 with a loss against Newcastle, their relegation rivals right now. So a bit embarrassing for Everton, but this was filmed before match day 25, so hopefully they can get a win in match day 25. But yeah, not for Callum, obviously, but you get what I mean. We'll move on. We'll go straight into the next game off match week 24. West Ham versus Watford. Not going to lie, bit of a boring game, but that has to be credited for Watford's great defensive performance. And it took a deflection from Bowen to actually get past the Watford defence. Foster, on his podcast, he's got a lot of stuff to talk about because that was a great performance by him. But West Ham, once again, get a win, and they kind of needed that to get into the top four right now. So one of the only teams that actually got a win that are battling for top four. We saw Man United and Tottenham not do well, which we'll go into. But anything to talk about for the West Ham game, Callum?
Not really. Just not a lot happened, and it's Watford, so
not much happened. Yeah, Bowen actually. I do want to go into Bowen. Bowen did great. What a player! And sadly for Liverpool, they got Diaz. Well, it's not sadly. Diaz is a great player, but I guess West Ham are now very excited to have Bowen in their team for the future because I don't think anybody else will go for him. But yeah, West Ham versus Watford 1-0. Not much to talk about there. We'll go straight into Burnley, Man United. Now, there's a lot to talk about here, not because of the scoreline, but because of what happened. You know what? We'll start with what Callum thinks of this game. Go on.
Sorry.
Callum? Oh, there you go.
Sorry, I was just giggling and just wriggling. It's
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny for all of us, but it's also really embarrassing. And this is one of the biggest teams in the world in terms of history and supporters. Just flopping against Burnley. This is Burnley. If you ask someone, "Oh, where's Burnley? What league do they play in?" They wouldn't say the Prem. I'd be surprised if they even say a league for that matter. It's Burnley. But fair play to Burnley. Got a point. And fair play to United, I guess they got a point.
Burnley are a meme side in themselves, in my opinion. Like signing a 6'6" striker just to get someone tall in for crosses. Clearly, they've got a tactic to run by, but it's just funny the way they run their tactic. Cross it in and hope for the best. However, Weghorst, I'm taking the mick out of him, but he actually did have a great assist for the Burnley goal, turning two Man United players to score. Great assist, and Rodriguez. Yeah, like what's important isn't the way Rodriguez scored. What's important is the way Harry Maguire defended, because that was hilarious. Also, we do have to talk about that Pogba goal. Pogba coming back into the team after a while and scoring a great finish into the top corner. But that's not the goals is not what matters in this game. It's just I still find it funny how Maguire is 80 mil. I think even Man United fans can agree that that's just ridiculous now. Pope, incredible game for Pope, some great saves, and actually kept Burnley in the game, surprisingly. Varane could have scored, but guess who stopped it? Maguire. Maguire. Ever since he cupped his ears against Albania in the international break, what has happened? We've got Norwich versus Palace. Norwich versus Palace. It's just Norwich versus Palace. Like, there's not much to talk about. However, what we will talk about is the only thing that's important between both sides, and that's Wilfred Zaha. How do you go on scoring an absolute worldie and then missing a sitter off a penalty? In my opinion, that literally emphasizes who Wilfred Zaha is. Seems incredible on paper, but isn't that good when you carefully look at him. Great team goal for Norwich to start off the game. Anything to talk about, Callum, on your side of things?
Let's not just say he missed the penalty. I mean, he didn't just miss it.
Oh, yeah.
He completely choked it. It wasn't even. He didn't even kick it straight. The thing bent away. Like, it just didn't want to go in.
I do want to mention how he blamed it on the penalty spot.
Yeah. Looked straight down and just pointed to it.
But yeah, Zaha, what is he doing? Wonder goal, though. We do have to. That was an incredible goal, top corner and everything. But I don't think he can really take praise for that goal after the second half. I do want to admit that, like, we don't really go into specific players, but Elise for Crystal Palace had an excellent game. And also Mateta for Crystal Palace, the striker. I would have expected Edouard to have a good season, but Mateta is proving himself in the strike position. Palace, I think that Norwich performance is unlucky, to be fair, but they've got a great team. They should be fine for the season. We'll go on to the Southampton-Tottenham game. I'm going to enjoy this because I'm an Arsenal fan, but, Tottenham fans probably won't. Son, world class as always, 2 goals. There's nothing to talk about. It's Son. Are you really shocked? Brozier, performance and a half from Brozier. He's scoring very often for Southampton. Shocking. But it's another lone player from Chelsea that seems to be performing well. Chelsea are going to have an incredible list of people to loan out next season, so not shocked. Elanusi and Che Adams also scoring. Anything to talk about there, Callum? You probably have a lot, to be fair.
Well, I mean, this is one of those games when you can see why the Prem is such a good league.
Yeah.
Facts. I mean, Tottenham, they should have won. You look at the players, you look at the manager, they should have won and they should have beaten Southampton. We shouldn't be having this conversation. But they didn't. And Southampton scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, both assisted by Ward-Prowse. Yeah,
Southampton, to be fair, having a great season so far, in my opinion, from what happened last season. So, to be fair, what I want to say about this Premier League season is Chelsea loanees are carrying these lower teams. We'll see loanees like Gallagher and Brozier get into the Chelsea team. But, as you were saying, Southampton-Tottenham. I don't know how Tottenham is losing against Southampton when they're trying to fight for top 4. Okay, Callum, we'll go into you for Man City-Brentford, because I don't think I've got anything to talk about here.
Well, so, as you can expect, this was a very unexpected win for Manchester City, because obviously they are not a very good team and they haven't been playing very well, and Brentford have been on form, because all the pundits say that they are doing very well this season, but Leeds aren't. I'm not biased, I'm just pointing out the obvious. But anyway, so it's just City, isn't it? Dominant performance, another win, keeping pressure on the other teams. What else can you say? They're just doing the thing. And Grealish still hasn't really done much.
Grealish not having fun. On the bench he is, to be fair.
Oh yeah. He's enjoying it.
To be fair, Man City, I don't think there's any question on who's winning the league this season. Man City just with Liverpool and Chelsea, like there's a slight hope that you're gonna beat them, even if you're Brentford or Norwich or Burnley. With Man City, you just know you've got no chance.
Yeah.
And once again, Man City win to take themselves top. Well, they take themselves top of the league. They already are, but take themselves further. But great game for Man City, especially Cancelo, who was unlucky to not have scored an absolute beauty of a goal. Ran past about 7 Brentford players. Penalty goal for Mahrez, coming back from the AFCON. Not really what he would have wanted in the AFCON, but, Brentford tried to defend for 90 minutes. Like, we have to give praise for them for that, but 2 goals against Man City, what do you expect? And obviously De Bruyne being gifted a goal, even though he would have scored it anyways. So yeah, Man City versus Brentford, great game for Man City. And we'll move on to Aston Villa Leeds. Now, obviously I'll start with Callum here, he's the Leeds fan. What are you thinking?
I think it's a fair result. Both teams, it was a end-to-end game. Both teams played well. Both teams deserve goals. Points shared. I'll take that. But 5'0" Dan James winning a header. Sorry, it was a highlight of my week. It was. But, yeah, it's another point on the board. And we do really need the points. But, I mean, and Coutinho.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a performance he put in there. He's going to be a real game changer to Villa.
What I've got to say is, like, people look at this game and just praise Coutinho and Ramsey and Aston Villa, but, like, Leeds getting 3 goals and getting a draw is, nobody's actually caring about Leeds here, but in my opinion, a draw is exceptional for how Aston Villa are playing. To be fair, Coutinho and Ramsey right now, Jesus Christ. That partnership, I think Aston Villa fans are getting a bit too excited about it, but still, you can't really fault it. Coutinho being world class as ever, but Ramsey performing. Young player for Aston Villa, but he's still incredible right now. And Gerrard, we'll go on to this, but Jesus Christ, he loves Ramsey right now. James, yeah, I do have to talk about James. 2 goals, surprisingly, but maybe one goal's a bit, scruffy, but the other goal was actually very neatly put into the bottom left. So I'll praise him for that. Konsa getting a red card, which in my opinion was a deserved red card. I don't know why he was doing that, and it's not the first stupid red card of the week. We will go on to that soon enough. Liverpool versus Leicester. We've got Liverpool obviously signing Diaz, who started in this game, and I've got to say Diaz might be a world-class player soon enough. He didn't score a goal here, but he looks promising, and obviously unlucky to not score. He did get an assist off an assist. He assisted Matip's assist. But Luis Diaz is great, but Jesus, Jota, world-class. Like, he's trash for Portugal, which I'm very annoyed about. I'm Portuguese, and he's absolutely shocking for Portugal. And there he is being better than Salah and Mane for Liverpool. I don't get what's happening. But Jota, obviously, 101 club career goals now after that game. Getting his 100th club career goal for the first goal of the game. And Salah also close to scoring, hitting off the bar. It would have been nice to see him score after what happened in the AFCON, but he's unlucky there. We'll see how Liverpool play, though, when Mane gets back into the team, because that's going to be a bit awkward. What are your opinions on the game, Cal?
It's just Liverpool, isn't it? It's just, it's another win. They're prodding Manchester City a bit, but Manchester City have just got.
Right
yeah, but Manchester. Yeah, they've just got mountains of money in front of Liverpool, so their little spear's not really getting into them. They could feel the little bump on the outside of the cash, but other than that, they don't really care. But I mean, yep, another win. So played well.
If Liverpool had the money of Man City, then they do, but they're not spending it. So the owners of Liverpool, if they were as kind, we shall say, as Man City's, they would honestly be far in the table right now. But Man City just have money on their side, and Liverpool. What I do have to say is Liverpool are effective with their signings. Like Diaz's signing is an absolutely incredible signing. I don't know if it's the right position. To be fair, they did need a backup, and is Diaz really a backup? Diaz is an incredible player. I don't know how you can classify him as a backup, but that's Liverpool for you. They're world class and they spend their money wisely. But yeah, they win again, and right now they're not that far from Man City. With 2 games in hand, obviously, if they do win those 2 games in hand, Man City are zooming ahead in the table. But Liverpool do have those 2 games in hand. One's against Arsenal, so hopefully they don't win that one. But the title race isn't over yet, as long as Liverpool keep the pressure on Man City. We'll move on to the last game of the week. We've got Arsenal versus Wolves. And as an Arsenal fan, I am very happy with that win. Not going to lie. Gabriel scoring because of Lacazette's ruggedness. Incredible Lacazette, but yeah, he could do everything but score, especially if they're tap-ins. Like Lacazette can't do anything, and man, I am pissed that we didn't sign a striker. Yeah, we've got Lacazette playing up top who can't score, but he can be that creator for us. And the game was probably overshadowed by the red card with Martinelli turning into prime Mike Tyson and absolutely flying into the guy who was taking the throw in, and then deciding to nudge the guy in the back as they were on the counter-attack. People might say that this wasn't a red card. This should have just been a yellow card, but honestly, I know I'm an Arsenal fan. This is a red card. I don't know what he was doing. It's a stupid red card. And Arsenal need to stop with the red cards because I'm getting quite annoyed. I think there was a stat. It was 4 red cards and 2 goals in the recent games. Not really what we want to be seeing. But we got the win anyways, and obviously Arsenal are now very likely to be in the top 4 soon enough. And that's what we like to see. That's it for match week 24. And right now, the table, we've got to say, it's looking quite unpredictable. We've got West Ham, Man United, Arsenal, and Tottenham all looking like they're going to get top 4 with them losing and winning a lot of games. I don't know why. You would expect someone fighting for the top 4 to just continuously win. But none of the teams are winning all of their games. So top 4 is not as obvious as you would have thought. The top 3 looks like who you would have thought. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea. And also the relegation zone. It's getting quite exciting now. Obviously not for Callum. Callum, do you want to talk about the relegation zone at all?
Not really, no, because I'm stressed. I'm stressed. I want to say with confidence, we're not going to get relegated. We've got Bielsa. We've got a good team compared to all of this riffraff that's down here with us. But there's a chance, and the chance is real, and it seems to be I'm feeling the pressure more. And I'm not even playing, so I don't know how the players are feeling, and I don't know how that will affect them on the pitch.
I feel something that assists the unpredictability is the fact that everybody's cancelling games, so the games in hand are very weird. Burnley, for example, 20 games played so far.
Yeah.
Right now, they could easily go ahead and win the next 4 games and be completely out of the relegation zone. Probably unlikely, not going to lie. I don't know why I said that, because it's just definitely not going to happen, but it's just an example. The amount of games in hand that we're seeing is ridiculous. Leicester City in 13th right now. That's also very weird. They do have a lot of games in hand, though. That's what I'm saying. So many games in hand for everybody. And the only teams that have actually played all for them are the teams that are doing well, like Man City. So, we'll see. Let's move on to the best part of this video, shall we, Callum? The memes of the week.
Joe, what a feeling. It is decent! Tell him, lad, it's decent! It's decent! To English.
Into number 10. We have got Mane versus Salah in the AFCON. This isn't just going to be limited to the Premier League. It kind of is, but it isn't at the same time. Mane versus Salah. This is mainly just for the Liverpool fans who think that their attackers are incredible. Because I'm massaging their ego a bit here. Mane versus Salah, both in the AFCON final. Fair play to them. Liverpool showing why they've got the best attack in the world right now, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll go on to the penalty. The final in itself was boring as hell, but the penalty shootout. Mane going up for the winning penalty and Salah trying to sabotage. Isn't that just funny? It seems like Mane and Salah aren't really friends, in my opinion. Mane doesn't pass to Salah, Salah doesn't pass to Mane. Penalty shootout, Salah trying to sabotage. But what I like about this is Mane's cockiness. The fact that he walks up to the goalkeeper and tells him where he's going to go and then scores. Yeah. In my opinion, the meme of the week, that in itself is a meme, but the best meme was when Salah, I'll get the picture up right now, the pictures of Salah in training right after. He looked so depressed. It was hilarious. Mane with a picture of him in his bed with the AFCON trophy. Then there's Liverpool posting Salah depressed in training. Story of Salah's life. Anything to say, Callum?
It's I don't think you can say that they're not friends. They will be friends. Just maybe Mane's just feels the pressure and the competition from Salah, and he just wants to prove himself that he is still good as well, because all of the limelight, so to speak, is on Salah, and quite rightly so. He's had a fantastic season. But yeah, I do think they're friends, and they probably hugged it out, or I don't know. Okay, I can't say that.
True.
Is that right?
It's true. Like, I don't. To be fair, let me rephrase. I don't think they're not friends. I just think they're big rivals. They're trying to rival each other to see who's the best, in my opinion. And Mane, for once, actually tipping Salah, because Salah this season has been world class, but Mane gets one over on him in the AFCON final. We'll move on to number 9. I did mention this a tiny bit in the Aston Villa game, but it's Gerrard and his love for Jacob Ramsey. I found his interview after the game hilarious. The fact that he just the amount of times he was praising Jacob Ramsey for being the next big thing in England. Like, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying I love when Gerrard praises someone. Yeah, of course. It's great.
Great impression.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yeah, Ramsey, fair enough. He is good, but come on. Like, Gerrard, there's a sense of favoritism here. And then Gerrard has really got his favourites in the form of Ramsey and Coutinho. But yeah, there's no point talking too much about this, because it's Gerrard's love for Ramsey. Valentine's Day is coming up, so wouldn't be surprised. Number 8, we'll move on. And this is probably the most shocking part of this week. For once, Arsenal get a red card that is not Granit Xhaka. And it's Martinelli. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world has someone got a red card in Arsenal that's not Xhaka? Partey got one, but that's another midfielder. The fact that Martinelli got one, I'm very shocked about. But Arsenal getting another red card, that's just a meme in itself. Red card, Arsenal. They do say London is red, to be fair. We'll move on. Number 7. Now, I love this one in my opinion. Transfer deadline day, obviously January was quite, well, sad for me, but good for other fans, especially Barcelona, who ended up getting Aubameyang on a 5k a week wage with Arsenal paying, as well as Adama Traore on 15k a week. Now, what I like about this is the fact that Tottenham offered Adama 120 grand a week, yet Adama joined Barcelona. Would you like to talk about that, Callum?
Oh, it's just the Tottenham effect. What can you say? It's just the Tottenham effect.
To be fair, neither club is winning trophies, so it's just Barcelona. I think there's a slight hint of Dharma wanting to play in the Spanish national team, and obviously Luis Enrique's got a favourite in Barcelona that he likes to go to. We saw that in the Euros, but still, Adama joining for 15k a week. Now we do have to take into account that 5k a week will be spent on baby oil, so that is still 100k a week less than what Tottenham would have spent, which I find perfectly funny to see. We'll move on though. Obviously, we already talked about this, but Zaha scoring that goal and then missing a penalty. Oh, I love the comments on the Sky Sports highlights of everybody taking the mick out of Zaha, especially the one where explaining that Zaha's career is based off of what just happened in that game. Now, he could have signed for Arsenal a long time ago, but obviously missed out on the opportunity. And Zaha, look where he is now, missing penalties that are basically throw-ins in Crystal Palace. Zaha, well, he's not a meme most of the time. He's a world-class player, but we just have to breathe it in now. We'll move on to number 5. Now, this is one clip, but I just find it hilarious, of Newcastle's owner going in for a handshake. I think with one of the fans. If you put it in the comments if it wasn't, but I think it was with one of the fans. And this ends up being a rock, paper, scissors game instead of a handshake. And then she ends up, obviously, pretending like nothing happened. Newcastle's owners. I love the new era of Newcastle. It just seems so funny. Like, the Amazon documentary doesn't need to be on Arsenal. It needs to be on Newcastle this season.
I forgot that's even happening.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Dear. That'll give us loads of content.
Oh, it will. What I want to see is, one, the starting. Arsenal's having an exciting season, though. First part of the season, losing 3 games in a row. Then Aubameyang being sold. Great transfer window. There's a lot to see. I can't wait for that documentary. We will obviously go over it once it's out. We'll move on to number 4. Let's just put the picture on screen now. If you haven't already laughed by the time I'm starting to speak here, then what's wrong with you? Because Jack Grealish's new haircut is hilarious. He's been sat on the bench for a while, and now he's wanting to speak to Guardiola. And what does he do when he wants to speak to the manager? He gets a Karen haircut. What is that? His hair is honestly, what is he thinking? If there's nobody in the locker room in Man City telling him how to get a haircut, then I don't know what's the point of being friends with him. Jack Grealish, I don't think there's been any part of his career that he's had an actual good haircut. I don't know if you want to talk about this, Callum. Is there anything you want to say about Jack Grealish?
He's an interesting character.
Yeah, he is. Aston Villa are probably just happy that they don't have that in their team.
Yeah, well, they're just swimming in 100 mil.
Yeah, they've got 100 mil with buy clause for Coutinho of 40 mil. So that's kind of looking funny now for Man City. They did want Coutinho, I heard, actually. They wanted Coutinho to sign, but they went for Grealish. So, unlucky for them. Number 3, I don't know. This is arguably high up there, but it's Harry Maguire and Man United. I'm sorry for any Man United fans, but you're a meme right now. Not just Harry Maguire, but yourself as a meme. And I just want to put the picture up. I was already talking about this, but let's remind ourselves of the celebration against Albania, of Harry Maguire cupping his ears, trying to silence the haters. But, like, what is he doing? I think commentators went off on him after this, especially Roy Keane. He was livid. And why else would you not be? Like, it's Harry Maguire. What is he doing? Harry Maguire is a perfection on how to defend badly.
100%.
Yep. Another thing I want to talk about is the meme has been going around of Manchester United's lineups. Now, against Wolves, the 1-0 loss, if you go and check their lineup, I'll put it on screen now, it looked suspiciously like a cross from Christianity. I'm not trying to take this into religious terms, but it's quite funny, this. And then in their recent games, they've decided to switch to this. And if you draw up the lines, you can see that it looks very weirdly like the Star of David. I'm not trying to say anything, but I think Man United has converted into Judaism here. Yet they still can't win. They're trying to. I don't know what's happening with Ralph Rangnick, but I don't think he's the right man for the job. Any opinion on that, Callum?
I saw an interesting meme somewhere. I'll see if I can find it for when you end up editing this, and you could put it in right now. But it was a board comparing, I think, Ole's tactics to Ralph's tactics, and it was interesting. Ole's were just score goals, and Ralph's were just all sorts of arrows. Do you think he's the problem, or do you think the players are the problem?
I just think he's the problem, in my opinion.
You think he's the problem?
I saw an interview, I think it was Paul Scholes saying that it was a team of individuals. And I agree with that completely. Like, they're not playing as a team, it's just one player at a time. And yeah, I think that's all down to the manager. I don't know how else you would explain it. The manager's tactics just aren't good enough right now. And it's the fact that he was the master of the Gegenpress, which I just find that complete lie. Like, I know it's a fact that he mastered the Gegenpress, but he's clearly not showing it right now. Do you have anything to add on, Callum?
I don't think so, no.
We'll move on to number 2. And if you might not have seen this, it was towards the end of the game, but it started off with Conte in the 70th minute of the Tottenham game. He was shushing the Southampton fans and manager, which I found hilarious because they were only winning 2-1 against Southampton. But they were winning, to be fair, so fair enough to him. But then comes the last minutes of the game and the final whistle, and Sky Sports end up showing this image, which I'll put on screen now, of Conte looking like a wet dog, being completely depressed. Not gonna lie, I just love it when things like that happen to Tottenham. I think Callum, even though he's not an Arsenal fan, would agree. Seeing like Tottenham like that is just hilarious.
I love seeing when karma just comes around.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing else to talk about. Just look at the image on screen right now. If you're not laughing right now, I don't know what you're doing. It's just why is Conte? I did see though, Conte is balding again. The poor guy got a hair transplant just for him to be balding again because of Tottenham. I'm sorry, but
That's what stress does to you.
Yeah. He decided to be Tottenham manager after being Chelsea manager. He should have known what happened. We'll move on to number one, and this is very predictable. And this has given the best series of memes I think this whole season has had, and it's Kurt Zouma kicking his cat. I'll just roll through a bunch of these memes. On screen right now, you'll see Kurt Zouma and someone remixing Kit Kat to be Kick Cat. I love it. I just love it. I think someone else edited it to be Zouma in a West Ham shirt with a sponsor being Kit Kat. I love it. Zouma, like, fair play. To be like, it's ridiculous that he kicked your cat, but you gave us memes. We've got the movie Zohan. Oh, this one might be the best meme of all season. Zohan kicking his cat. Like, put the clip on now. We'll only show like 5 seconds because of copyright, but still, you'll get what we mean.
Cat sack, huh? Throw it to me. Gotcha. Let's play.
And then obviously the Puma logo. Oh, sublime. Do you have any comment, Callum? Zoom in?
It's the whole situation's just really weird and embarrassing and stupid, and I'm pleased that it's getting lots of hate, and I mean that because if it was a person that he did it to, it would also be getting hate, but this time it's a cat, but it's still getting lots of hate, and it should be because he's stupid. And I've seen someone that might get 4 years in prison in France because of it.
It's deserving, to be fair. I remember. I think when did West Ham they did play against Everton, didn't they? Where Zouma got injured and they shouted, "That's how your cat feels."
Yep.
I think that's top class banter from the Everton fans. And like, yeah, I agree with you. Zouma shouldn't have done that. And honestly, I would find it funny if West Ham put RSPCA as their sponsor next season. That would just be great. But I think, yeah, Zouma, what is he doing? But that will be obviously our top meme of the week. We'll do this for next week again, obviously. But there you go. That is the end of the podcast. Callum, would you like to end it for us?
Well, thank you for watching. This has been something new for us. We're trying. So if you do like it, if you've even got this far to just hear me waffle this statement together, then thank you. We appreciate it. And we will hopefully see you in the next podcast next week when we talk about the next games, and we will see you there.
Wait, hold on. There's another thing that we need to mention. There will not only just be a football podcast. Would you like to talk about the other podcast?
There will be another podcast, and you can expect it up probably 1 or 2 days after this one. And we're just going to be discussing all the news. And I think I will be able to speak a bit more on this. I don't know about Rod, but
yeah, I'll research, you know.
Oh yeah. Like, I've been doing my research in some of these games because I don't really follow some pathetic teams like Burnley. Anyway, so you will see that podcast come up hopefully. Hope you watch that as well. But thank you for watching, and remember to like and subscribe. I never normally say that, but hey, we've done it. It's a new us, 2022, and goodbye.